I have another question for you, Manager Marty. If a fighter signs to a promoter, now we know, like you said, sometimes they sign with a promoter, maybe with a 2-fight deal, 3-fight deal, or whatever the case might be.
Yeah.
Are they able or allowed to fight any fighter that they want, or they have to fight the fighters that the promoter puts in front of them?
Well, we got to be clear with this, and I'm glad you brought that up. When you sign with a promoter, it's not just the promoter who is, making the decision for the direction of the career of the fighter. The promoter is using somebody who is employed by the promoter to become the vehicle to basically transport this fighter from one place to another.
Yes.
And that's the person who no one usually talks about. And that's the matchmaker. And so the matchmaker, and let's just point this out because I think this is equally as important. If it wasn't for Bob Arum and the great Brad Goodman, who's the matchmaker for Top Rank, we wouldn't even be talking about Terence Crawford fighting no Spence. That's a fact. He was moved in such a way, he meaning Crawford, was moved in such a way in his career that gave the fans the perception that he was ready and prepared for the biggest challenge of his career to fight Spence. And look at how his resume proved what I'm saying. If you want to know how fighters are moved in a certain direction, just look at the matchmaking. It's very simple. And I have to say this, and people might not like it, but it's the truth. Look at how Terence Buck Crawford was moved in his career. He was moved that way for a reason, or maybe 2 reasons, but he was moved in that way. And what I mean by that way, he was in the ring fighting lower level competition. That is a fact. That is not an opinion. That is a fact, bro. And we got to keep it real. He was moved in such a way, his resume speaks for itself, that he was going to be in the ring with people that were not going to basically hurt him, put him in a position to get knocked down. He wasn't going to get knocked out, and he was going to dominate and outclass his opponents. And you don't have to take my word for it. His trainer himself, Mr. Bomac, when he was asked about Rocha, he said it himself. Oh, that's a sparring match. Crawford's going to go in there and just fully dominate him. And he was comfortable saying that on camera. So why can't I be comfortable saying what I'm saying on camera?
Wow.
We got to keep it all the way 100. Now, can a fighter choose who he or she wants to fight? The difference doesn't make. It's all about the matchmaking. It's all about the transportation that the promoter is using to do what? Meet a goal. And the goal is to put this fighter in position to be in contention to compete for a world title. And they did that for Crawford at 135, and they did it again for him at 140, which he unified the titles. They did it for him again at 147. And now all of a sudden, things came to an abrupt end.
Right.
And the reason why it came to an abrupt end is because at some point, when 2 roads collide, you're going to have to fight Spence. That's just how it's going to go down. We done match made you all the way up. Look at matchmaking. It's about putting a fighter in position to fight lower level opposition.
Yeah.
Up until the point where you, world title status. Now you got the title now.
Yeah.
Now there's going to be some other people now that's going to be in contention to challenge you for that title. Let's hear what Broner had to say about it. What he said, oh, you're going to get paid when you fight over there with PBC, but you're going to have to fight Godzilla. And Terence Crawford knew that. Bomac knows that. And guess who else know that? Brad Goodman and Top Rank. They know that already. They moved Terence Crawford in a way to avoid those challenges for a reason.
Yeah.
And I dare anybody, in the business or out of the business, to challenge what I just said. His resume speaks for itself.
Exactly.
Because once you're a world champion, we're going to let you fight a little easy opponents, you know. But at some point, you got to get in there with somebody that's going to challenge you, that has a fan base, so that you can maximize your earning potential. And if the fighter can maximize their earning potential, so can the promoter. So if that is the case, why would Bob Arum say, oh man, the money I lost promoting Terence Crawford, I could have bought a house or a mansion in Beverly Hills.
Yep.
That's Bob Arum words.
Bob Arum.
Why would he say that if what I just said is true? That's because at some point, this guy's going to have to get in there and compete with somebody that's on his level. Because the guys that we got him in there fighting is good enough to keep his career moving and to get him his guarantee that this contract say he can get.
Yeah.
But now we at a crossroad at the intersection where a guy over there in the division looking across from him got 3 belts. He's going to have to fight this guy. Now think about this, because you know I'm deep and I go on.
Keep going.
I'll take these off for this one.
Oh, shit.
Why you think Mayweather Promotions is on Box Rec with this Tank and Ryan Garcia fight? They there for it. De La Hoya was in the interview and he said, man, I didn't even know Leonard Ellerbein was even here. I didn't even know Leonard was going to be here. You know why they still was there? You think they was going to take Tank Davis, we're talking business now, from 11-0 to go all the way up. The matchmaking, the investment that they made in this young man, to go all the way up to the biggest fight in his career, to fight Ryan Garcia, and you think all the investments that they made, you think they ain't gonna be a part of this big joint? What? Now after this, contract might be over.
Yeah.
We still got a relationship, but this is the reason why we made the investments as promoters in the first place.
Yeah.
So why would Bob Arum take young Terence Crawford and move him up from 1 division to 2 divisions to 3 divisions with a world title in each division, only to get to the pinnacle and say, well, we'll just wash our hands. What kind of business y'all think we in here? Where they do that at? All right then. So let's keep it all the way real. At some point, Bob Arum and them knew we got to get this kid in there with Spence.
Yeah.
It's the bottom line.
Exactly.
And Crawford knew that too. Now I know people want to sit up there and say, oh no, man, Jamarty was racism and that's why he ain't resigned. You keep playing that game if you want to.
Nah.
Because he ain't with Bob and he still ain't fight Spence. So what difference does it make?